welcome to our check-in. Interesting topic, something we wanted to be able to kind of explore with you today, and with each other. As always, you want to use this as a chance to, have good talks with your husband or with your wife. Please don't just use these videos to look at and just look at. Bring up, say, look, hey, know what I saw they talking about? It's just good. It brings up some things that could be helpful. One of the interesting topics is we haven't really touched on this before, but something that I tend to see, Pam's tend to see it, is in the marriage, the women, usually the women tend to have more relationships with other peers, other women,
right,
and stay close to them and talk to them,
right,
and not just about marriage, but yeah, they'll talk about marriage topics and how they're doing and things like that. Whereas us men, we tend to be more independent. We tend to not be as have as many close peer relationships. We may be around other men, but we're just not as vulnerable, and we're not as literally not as much time together with other men. And is that a good way of summarizing it?
That is a good way, and it causes attention because one person, for example, is like, let's double date. Let's go out with this couple, have dinner, just anything. And sometimes it's the husband, sometimes it could be the wife, is like, no, I don't want to. They really are not into it. They really don't want to spend the time, don't want to. But the other spouse is feeling like they want to have others in their lives and build friendships. Now, if you listen to people from work and stuff, they'll say, girl, just do you. But you're feeling as a married person, you don't want to just do you. I don't want to meet up with a whole bunch of sometimes married, sometimes single women and go off and do different things. As a couple, I want us to be building with other relationships.
Do things as a couple.
As a couple.
Yeah.
With other couples.
Yeah, and I've seen the whole spectrum of it where it'll be like, it'll tend to be just sisters, or women. They go out, they do things and the like. And it's not unhealthy and the like, but amongst the husbands or the men, they're a little more isolated.
Yeah, they're a little bit more isolated. And sometimes as the wife, you can feel like men are better with men. Like, we could be close, but there are some things that's going to come up with you about work, about your health, about your thinking, about your habits that I just can't help you with because I'm a woman. And to be with other men gives a little normalcy to it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Absolutely.
But it's harder for men to reach out sometimes.
I have, my experience has shown me, and it's spiritually true, men do absolutely need other men in their lives. To be a great husband, you need good relationships with your peers as men. We as men, we need that. We are dipped in it. I think we're designed for it. It doesn't have to be a lot. It really doesn't. But we do need to have a place that we can be open. We do need to have a place where we feel understood and there's a sense of brotherhood.
Right.
And sometimes to talk about the things that may be pretty serious.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody who, for example, who struggled with pornography. And this is a believer, and it was really bad. And his wife knew about it, and they struggled with it. But when I asked him, and he led a spiritual group, like a discussion for men, he never shared with the other men in his life. It just never occurred to him in his fellowship. And I told him, I says, man, that's something that if you, for what you do to grow and to change, you're gonna need that. Maybe not everybody, but you're gonna need other men. Not just, it's awesome he's very, with your wife, but you're gonna need other men in your life. I know for me, that's what made all the difference. There's no way in the world our marriage would be what it is if it wasn't for other men in my life. Is that fair to say?
And likewise. I know that for me, having other women As a matter of fact, today, a woman pulled me aside, and that was what she said. She was saying, I appreciate the fact that you and I don't have trivial conversations, that we can talk about some sensitive and intimate and deep issues, and it's a safe place. And so she wanted to secure that we could still have that relationship. And I told her I appreciated that. And so you don't need a lot of people. It may be one or two people, but you definitely need consistent time with one or two people where it's not talking about hair and nails and the weather, but it's talking about those, the things you say, your fears.
Fears, failures, and temptations, yes.
And temptations.
And look, I want to encourage you. If this topic is relevant for you, think about it. Think about your relationships with other men. Think about, man, do I have those Peter, James, and John, those few people that I can talk to when I'm going through, whether it's sin, whether it's just something you feel you need some support, well, just somebody just to talk through some things that are just going on in your life.
Yep.
Being close to your spouse is key. That's foundation. I agree 100%, no doubt. But again, I say this, is that to have a really great marriage, it's not done in isolation.
Right.
It's done with a context.
Right.
I like to look at it as a what do they call it? I like to call it a protective factor in your marriage,
Yes.
to have other men in your life. So what do you say? This has been great. Please leave your comments below. Hope you really enjoy these times. But get a chance to talk about it, and what are the relationships you can cultivate that will help you be a better husband and father.
Find more of our videos on our YouTube channel, Mind Change. Let us know what you think. Add comments.